Notice any blockages anywhere, or any difficulties even with doing it?
So that I felt like that's the right tension. I don't know. I just seemed like it's that the kind of doesn't want to relax. Yeah, I can feel it going.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Anyone see any colors? Just curious. Sometimes that happens. No?
Red.
Red?
Mm-hmm.
Feeling like my body move.
Mm-hmm. Side to side or front to back? Forward? Interesting. That's totally possible, and in fact, that's something can be harnessed and can be intentional in certain forms. It's also spring in the season of wind, so when things move like that, it makes me wonder if it's not an issue per se, but it could have even been an experience of wind. Some of these things are ethereal, so don't always want to put a name on it, but I've had that feeling too of kind of wobbling sometimes when I'm doing it. That's a common feeling. Yeah. Yeah. When Master Liuhe teaches us, she says to follow the qi, and she's, I wouldn't say disorganized, but she's certainly not regimented like Zen in terms of her body posture, or even how fast or how slow or how she goes through these things. She says follow the qi, and so if it makes you kind of move a little bit, that's okay. If you need to move a little bit, that's okay. It's not about being rigid. It's about being in relaxed attention and following the qi where it wants you to go. As I mentioned in the beginning, there's a Thomas Cleary translation of this book. There's a couple, but Thomas Cleary is a scholar. As with all scholarly translations of medical and meditative works, there's a little caveat, which is to say they're approaching it like an academic and perhaps not like a practitioner. Most of these things were products of secret societies, and so some of the language may be specific to the lineage and actually need to be translated with someone from that lineage. So there's always that caveat. It is an academic translation, so hopefully not too much is lost. But the Microcosmic Orbit meditation is covered specifically in that book. And then some of the refinements of it, it goes over the anatomy in a little more detail. I just did a YouTube search before coming here, and oh my goodness, there are so many versions of what we just did in little 5-minute videos. You could just feast for the rest of your life on the stuff that's out there for free. So if you're interested, I encourage you just to go have a look-see. As with following the qi, doing the things that feel good to you. You know, if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. There's a lot of other versions out there, so happy hunting. And because I knew there would be so many women here, I love this book, Immortal Sisters, also by Thomas Cleary. It's some of the Taoist meditation and sexual alchemy and other things specific to women from nunnery traditions and more women's focused Taoist sexual and meditative energetic stuff. More of the meditative, but some of the sexual. Some of this stuff has strong overlay with sexual practices. The Taoists were much less afraid of their bodies than the Buddhists, I guess. I don't know. They'll drink and they have sex and they don't care. But it doesn't mean one shouldn't pay attention. Not that they don't care, but they're more embracing of the physical, I would say. So those are some great books if you're interested in doing some further reading. But I have another handout, and so, do you have my, what time is it? 1:43, great. So we'll just do a little bit of the self-massage. So even within the microcosmic orbit, there is microcosm. We learn a self-massage form at OCOM that kind of accesses the microcosm of the face. Most of the self-massage is done on the face because you can access so much stuff right here. Surprise, surprise, right? Your brain's right here. So the smallest map of your anatomy is in your brain, and it's right here. So we'll just do a little bit of that. This is another practice where, again, I recommend, opening and closing, as we discussed. Personally, I think one should open and close. You can do the connecting the run and the dumai as you do this exercise, again, to give it more potency by connecting the microcosmic orbit. But this is really a self-massage technique. So you can't really hide it on the bus, but you can certainly do it in a couple of minutes in a place where you feel comfortable. And I highly recommend it, particularly if you suffer from things like eye fatigue. It's a great little thing to do to kind of wake up your face in the middle of the day. This particular exercise is initiated by clapping and finished with shaking. Because you're putting your hands on your face and your hair, I'm giving you forewarning. If you don't want to do that, you can do it off the face for now. I usually would wash my hands so I can actually get the direct contact. It's up to you, whatever you're comfortable with. You don't want to mess up your hair, you don't have to do it on your hair or your face. if you don't want to mess up your makeup. But you get more if you make contact. So each of the movements in this form, and you have a handout, which is great. So we'll do it together, and then you can use the handout later to refresh yourself. So each part of this begins with being in our body. So again, tailbone tucked, kind of tuck the chin a little bit, connecting the microcosmic orbit, being rooted in our bodies as the place to start, opening the door. So each of the movements of the self-massage begins by gathering chi through clapping and rubbing the hands. So clap and gather chi. So the first movement is just to scrub the face up and down. So with a flat palm moving up and down, you scrub the face. And then take the excess chi and shake it off. And exhale, just because we can get free. Shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. And then we gather more chi. With the fingertips on or off the scalp, massaging from front to back. And this again, if the chi says go slow, go slow. Chi says go medium, go medium. You can't do it wrong. You just do what feels right for you. And exhale, shake it off. Gathering more chi. For this one, with a cupped palm, we'll be placing the hands over the eyes, giving chi to the eyes, and just resting them there. And again, relax the tension. So shoulders down, easy breathing, not forced. Shaking it off. Gathering chi. So we talked about Yin Tong, the seal hall, secretary for your original Shen. We will be wiping all his troubles away. So again, with a cupped palm from here to the temple, you just would like to kind of wipe from side to side. And shake that off. Gathering more chi. This time we're going to open the mouth and nose. The thenar eminence is the root of the thumb, this part right here. So you're going to place it on either side of the mouth and scrub up and down. Off the face or on the face. And I should mention my eyes are closed, but of course yours are probably open watching me. That's okay. I just do it out of habit. And shake that off. Hold the loosies and open the nose. Gathering chi. We're going to be scrubbing the upper and lower lip. So with the pointer finger resting one on the upper lip and one below the lower lip, you scrub back and forth. Again, off the face if you're more comfortable. On the face, give it a good scrub. Don't forget to breathe. And shake off. gathering chi for the last movement of the brief self-massage. Dredging the Xiaoyang, the channel that runs up and down the sides of the body. So with the fingertips, this time you're going to be moving around the ear like this. So dredging the Xiaoyang channel, flicking off all the extra. And then another extra shake. So for the final one, we're just going to go ahead and inhale and raise our hands again up above the head. Sorry. Scanning the body on the exhale, lowering the hands. Right palm on top of left palm. If your eyes are not closed, again, close the eyes. Taking 3 nice breaths, being in our body. And then opening the eyes slowly. And joining the rest of the room. So thank you.
Thank you.
Feel free to take this and go sit under a tree out there. Sit by your favorite plant because you can exchange energy with all kinds of things. You can do this practice in all kinds of places. Go forth and enjoy. So thank you very much. And
Thank you.